All right, ready to dive into a new career path?
Let's do it.
Today, we're all about international trade, specifically what it takes to be a successful import-export manager. And we're zeroing in on the booming household goods sector. Think furniture, decor, all that good stuff.
A sector with huge demand, by the way.
Absolutely. Now, if you're interested in this career path, consider this your crash course. We're breaking down the ins and outs, the challenges, the rewards, the whole nine yards.
It's a field that's often misunderstood, so let's clear up some misconceptions.
Perfect. For those who might think it's all about, just shipping labels and customs forms, what's a typical day really like for an import-export manager?
Well, forget typical. Every day is different. Think of it like this. You're the conductor of a global orchestra, and instead of instruments, you're coordinating the movement of goods across borders.
Okay, I like that analogy.
So one day you might be on the phone with a furniture manufacturer in Indonesia. The next, you're ironing out a logistics snag in Rotterdam.
Sounds like a job for someone who thrives on variety.
Absolutely. You need to be adaptable, resourceful, and a master of problem solving, often on a global scale.
And speaking of global, I imagine cultural sensitivity and strong communication skills are non-negotiable.
You hit the nail on the head. You're constantly interacting with people from all over the world, suppliers, clients, customs officials, each with their own culture, communication style, and way of doing business.
So you're not just an expert in logistics, you're also a bit of a diplomat.
Diplomacy skills are a huge asset in this role. Let's put it this way. You need to be able to build relationships and navigate cultural differences with finesse, especially when things get, shall we say, a little lost in translation.
I bet. And with all this global communication happening, what's the role of technology in all of this? Because I imagine things have evolved way beyond those old school spreadsheets.
Oh, you better believe it. Technology is the backbone of modern import-export operations.
So we're talking serious software solutions.
Exactly. We're talking about sophisticated platforms that track shipments in real time, manage inventory across continents,
Yep.
even analyze global market trends to anticipate demand.
Wow, so it's not just about knowing where the goods are, it's about predicting where they need to be.
Precisely. And you need to be comfortable with constantly evolving technology because new software and platforms are emerging all the time to make the process even more efficient.
It sounds like a career for those who love to geek out on the latest tech gadgets, except in this case, the gadgets are streamlining global trade.
That's a great way to put it. It's a dynamic field that keeps you on your toes in the best way possible.
Okay, we've established that import-export management is all about juggling multiple moving parts across borders, across cultures, often in real time. So before we jump into the nitty-gritty of skills and qualifications, let's talk about the perks and the pitfalls of this career path. Okay, so we've established that this isn't a career for the wallflowers and clock watchers, but for those who thrive on that kind of energy, what are the upsides? I mean, besides the thrill of orchestrating a global shipment, there's got to be some pretty sweet perks, right?
Oh, absolutely. Let's be real. The salary potential in this field, especially as you gain experience and expertise, it's definitely a motivating factor.
Yeah, no one's getting into international trade for the free coffee and casual Fridays. So spill the beans, what kind of numbers are we talking about?
Well, it varies depending on experience, location, company size, all those factors. But let's just say a seasoned import-export manager with a proven track record, especially someone with niche expertise. Maybe they're the go-to person for high-end textiles or sustainable furniture. They can easily pull in six figures.
Now that's the kind of math I like. So we're talking serious earning potential. But it's not just about the paycheck, right? The research mentions something about this career path offering some pretty incredible cultural immersion opportunities.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's one of the major perks that often gets overlooked. You're not just sitting behind a desk pushing paper. You might find yourself hopping on a plane to visit a manufacturing facility in Vietnam, or negotiating a deal with a supplier in Italy, maybe even attending a design expo in Brazil.
Wow, so it's like business trips that double as cultural deep dives.
Exactly. And that kind of firsthand experience, it not only makes you a more well-rounded individual, but it also gives you invaluable insights into different business cultures, which can be a huge advantage in this field.
So you're not just managing logistics, you're bridging cultural gaps, building relationships across continents.
It's all connected, right? And the more you understand those nuances, the better you'll be at navigating the complexities of international trade.
Okay, but let's be honest, it can't all be glamorous international travel and big paychecks. What about the flip side? We've touched on the demanding schedule, the need for flexibility, but what about the pressure?
Yeah, let's be real. It's not for the faint of heart. This is a high-stakes field often with tight deadlines and unexpected curveballs thrown your way, so you need to be able to think on your feet, make quick decisions, and stay calm under pressure.
So a thick skin and a talent for problem solving are non-negotiable.
Pretty much. And you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty, sometimes literally, if you're on site at a warehouse or production facility.
So you need to be adaptable, resourceful, and maybe have a good pair of work boots handy.
Exactly. And don't forget that excellent communication is key because you're constantly relaying information, clarifying details, and resolving issues, often across different time zones and language barriers.
So clear, concise communication is a must. Any other tips for someone considering this path? How can they really gauge if they're cut out for this kind of intensity?
Honesty with yourself is key. Before jumping in headfirst, ask yourself, do you thrive on challenges? Can you handle pressure? Are you a natural problem solver? Because if the answer is yes to those questions, then you might just have what it takes to make it in this exciting and ever-evolving world of import-export.
I love that. It's all about knowing yourself, your strengths, and your passions. But let's say someone's listening to this and they're like, yep, that's me, sign me up. Where do I even begin? What are the steps to turning this dream into a reality? So you've decided to explore the world of import-export management. Awesome. Now let's map out the journey. It's easy to assume you need a degree in international something or other. Is that the case?
Well, it helps, for sure. But it's not the be-all and end-all. While the degree in international business or supply chain management can give you a head start, it's not the only way in.
So you're saying this isn't one of those fields where everyone has the same cookie-cutter background?
Not at all. I've met successful import-export managers from all walks of life. Some started in business administration, some in economics, some even come from a language background, which is super valuable in this field, obviously.
Makes sense. The more languages you speak, the better you can navigate those cross-cultural communications.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's less about the degree itself and more about the skills you bring to the table.
So what are those must-have skills that make an applicant stand out?
First and foremost, you need a solid grasp of international trade regulations. This isn't just about knowing how to fill out a customs form. We're talking about understanding Incoterms, which are the globally recognized rules for shipping terms. You need to know your stuff when it comes to letters of credit, import duties, the whole shebang.
Right, because a tiny mistake in any of those areas could mean big delays or even bigger costs.
Exactly. But it's not all just numbers and regulations. Remember, you're the crucial link between suppliers, clients, customs officials, everyone involved in the import-export process. So, clear, concise communication is non-negotiable. And I mean that for both written and verbal communication.
It's like you're the conductor of this complex orchestra, making sure everyone's playing in sync.
That's a great way to put it. You need to be able to explain complex information clearly, manage expectations, and resolve conflicts effectively, often across different time zones and cultural backgrounds.
Now, are there any certifications or professional development opportunities that can give aspiring import-export managers an edge in this competitive job market?
Absolutely. One that comes to mind is the CITP Certified International Trade Professional.
Okay, so the CITP, that's like the gold standard for import-export professionals.
Right.
What makes it so valuable?
It's a globally recognized credential, so it carries weight. And the program itself covers everything from trade finance and risk management to logistics and supply chain optimization.
Sounds pretty comprehensive.
It is. If you're serious about a career in import-export management, getting CITP certified can be a real game changer.
So let's fast forward. You've got the skills, you've got the knowledge, you've even got the certification. You land an interview. Congrats. Now what? What should you expect in terms of those interview questions?
Be prepared for behavioral-based questions. They want to see how you handle real-world scenarios.
So Les, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And more, tell me about a time you dealt with a major shipping crisis.
Exactly. They'll want to hear concrete examples of how you've tackled challenges in the past, how you've navigated difficult conversations, how you've used your problem-solving skills to save the day.
So it's all about showcasing your experience, your adaptability, your ability to think on your feet. Any advice on how to make those answers really stand out?
Specificity is key.
Yeah.
Don't just say you're a problem solver. Give them a real-life example with details that demonstrates your analytical thinking, your communication skills, your ability to stay cool under pressure. That's what's going to make them remember you.
Solid advice. So you've aced the interview. You're officially an import-export rock star. What's next? What does the career ladder look like in this field?
Well, you might start as an import-export coordinator, working your way up to specialist, then supervisor, and eventually manager. And along the way, some people discover a particular niche that really speaks to them.
So you could become the go-to expert for importing, say, handmade textiles from India or sustainable bamboo furniture from Indonesia.
Absolutely. And that kind of specialized knowledge can make you incredibly valuable in the global marketplace.
And for those who are super ambitious, are there opportunities to move beyond management?
Oh, for sure. Some import-export managers, they transition into senior management roles, maybe overseeing entire supply chains for multinational companies. Some leverage their expertise to start their own import-export businesses or become consultants, advising companies on international trade strategies.
It's inspiring to see so many different avenues within one field. So for anyone listening who is energized by the thought of orchestrating global shipments, navigating cultural nuances, and yes, even tackling those unexpected logistical puzzles, this could be the perfect career path for you.
Couldn't agree more.
And remember, this deep dive was just a glimpse into the exciting world of import-export management. There's a whole universe of information out there waiting to be explored. So do your research, connect with professionals in the field, and most importantly, if this feels right, take that leap. Until next time, happy trading.